Hi everyone, it's Sarah with MyNaturalBabyBirth.com again. This is the second video in this quick little series that I wanted to put together for you. And last time I wanted to thank everyone for taking part of that. Last time we talked about the fear, pain, tension cycle and how it's the last thing that you want to get in the way when you are in labor and delivering your baby, because anytime we allow some fear to overtake us, it leads to increased pain, which our body will automatically tense up to, and then in turn tell our brain that we're afraid, and it's a bad downward spiral. We talked about that. And that's why I wanted to put together a bunch of resources for you so that you can overcome that, because that's your number one enemy when it comes to getting ready for your birth and having the natural birth that you want. And I learned this 3 times after having 3 births naturally, and it took a couple of tries to get it right for sure, but I definitely learned a lot each time, and that's why I wanted to put all of this together for you so that you have everything you need to do so. And, you know, nobody can ever do it perfectly right the first time. We can read and study, but we're always learning something. And with my first baby, for example, I really studied the Bradley method, and I wanted to squat and hold my breath like he teaches while I pushed, and I learned really quickly that that wasn't going to work with me, and so I didn't really think about other options because I thought, oh, I read that, I liked it, that's what I wanted to do. And I learned that I needed to explore other options because it almost didn't make it. It took a ton of mental focus and stamina and energy in order to get through that, but I made some mistakes and I learned from them really fast. And so what I did learn, I used with my next 2 births to make those so much better. And today I want to talk about one major thing that will help overcome the pain part of that fear, pain, tension cycle, which most of us are concerned about, right? Oh, it's the worst pain you'll ever feel in your life, we're told. But really, is that true? There are a lot of things that you can do to overcome said pain. What happens in our brains is our brains will interpret any sort of intensity or surges of these contractions that we feel while we're in labor. And they're very similar to the feelings that you have during having a bowel movement, going to the bathroom, and also very similar to what you experience when you're having sexual intimacy with your significant other. And they're very similar. But when you're in those instances, if you think about those things as painful, are they more likely going to be painful? Yes. If you think about using the restroom and having an intimate moment, if you think about those things as they feel good to experience, then they're more joyful, correct? It's the same thing with your labor contractions. All of the endorphins in our brain are... Let me back up. What happens in your brain is all of the cells within our brain, they have receptors on the surface. They're like little hands that kind of reach out and grab all of these molecules that float by. And when we have endorphins and hormones floating by, the receptors on our brain cells will grab those. And the more of those happy endorphins and happy hormones that we have, the more likely our cells are going to grab onto that, and we have that good feeling in our brain. And so how do we increase the good feeling endorphins and hormones? The number one way to do that is by exercise. When we exercise, we are changing the very cells and molecules in our bodies to combat pain and to combat discomfort and to feel good, to feel lively and feel well. And the more that we exercise, the increase we have a greater abundance of endorphins and those feel-good hormones and feel-good molecules floating around in our brain. And the more we do that, the more we our brain cells grab onto those, and the better we feel. But we have to make the choice of choosing what I'm experiencing right now is pleasurable, and what I'm experiencing feels good. And so, when you train your body through exercise to increase those endorphins, and also train your mind that what you're going to experience is not extreme pain, your mind and body work together to have a more pleasurable experience. And that is how we're going to conquer the pain part of the fear, pain, tension cycle. Now, I had a couple questions from the last video I want to touch on really quick. Someone asked, what if I don't have a midwife, and what if I can't afford a doula? I have to have my birth with my regular doctor, OBGYN. That is totally fine. You don't have to have a specialist or that type of a provider or doula present in order to have your natural baby birth. I have never had a midwife or doula present for any of my births. You simply can learn how to work with them and make sure that your circumstances will still meet your needs. The next question someone asked is, what if I haven't been exercising or eating right a ton before now, but now I'm pregnant and I want to start doing that. Is this still possible? Yes, absolutely. Before I was pregnant the first time, I'd let my exercise wane because I was in college and I didn't care, but I picked it back up in my first trimester, and it still made a huge difference. You can do it, and I can teach you all of the right exercises to do. Okay, the last question, third one, someone asked, how do I know when something is wrong and what should I do? And I think she means if there's something wrong with the aches or pains you're feeling or with your pregnancy. You're going to have a lot of funny, odd aches and pains that come and go, and you can counteract those with a lot of things that I can share with you too. But the number one thing you need to worry about is if you're bleeding a lot. If you're spotting a little throughout your pregnancy, that's fine. That's normal, no problem. If you've just had a cervical exam or something like that, a little spotting is okay and expected. But if you have flow like a period, then something is most likely wrong, or you need to be checked. And so you can go in right away. And that's really the only time, unless you've broken an arm or something, really. There's so many different symptoms and things going on when we're pregnant that if we haven't experienced it the first time, it can all feel weird or possibly wrong. But really the only thing you need to worry about is if you are bleeding like you're having your period. Okay, that's it for this one. I wanted to wrap it up, and the next video I'm going to send you in just a couple days, keep an eye out for it, is how you can make all of these things happen. How can you instill all of the techniques to conquer this fear, pain, tension cycle? And let me know if you have any questions about this video, or if you have a comment, leave them here in below the video, or just hit reply in your email wherever you see this. It'd be great. I love all the feedback. Okay? You can do hard things, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night.